Alrighty, welcome to those of us who are watching on our live stream. Today is day 3 of the inaugural OTTA tournament. Why OTTA? Well, OTTA actually stands for Open Tournament to All, and that is exactly what roller derby is. And we have had a massive 2 days thus far, and today we have 2 grand finals, 2 consolation finals, as well as some pool games to get into those finals. This game will be a game between Team Indigenous Dreaming, who are a mix of skaters from many different teams across the country who skate under the banner Team TID, and they're in their first tournament since resuming post-COVID. Then we have the OTTAMystics. The OTTAMystics are a team of players who may not have a team represented here today or skate independently, etc. Now they are OTTAMystics because, of course, if you're having an open tournament to all, you need to be able to let people play. So there are people that just wanted to play and we created a team. It's as simple as that. Now, taking us through safely our game today, we have our wonderful officials. On Team Zebra, the ones with the stripes, we have Justin Credible, who will be our chief head ref. We have Frankenherder, Lanky, Gary, Cheeky, Boba Fett, and Candy Striper. Now, for the non-skating officials, we have Mercy, who is penalty line-up tracking, and also our head NSO for this particular game. We have Tenacious Rex, Toots, Squeals, Pano Choco, I hope I got that right, Muggles, Scarebear from Victoria, and Bonnie Jovi. Now, a little rabbit has told me that Jack Rabbit is celebrating a birthday today. I got told to make sure that I did a nice embarrassing call out, but I'm here on my own today, so I'm not singing like I did yesterday. We have a little over we're about to start. We're just getting all things set up and set into place. Today's game, when you watch this game, just remember that the players and officials of these teams have skated multiple, and I mean multiple games this weekend. So you are seeing some of the fittest and most athletic players that I've ever seen. Alright, so the teams are on track. And alright, and we are off with Jack Rabbit leading with the star for the OTTAMystics. Meanwhile, OTTAMystics is jamming for Team Indigeneous Dreaming, and they have got out for lead. Now, those of you who are familiar with roller derby will know that our jammers are identified by a helmet cover with a star. As Jack Rabbit has successfully done a star pass to Scottish, you will notice when you watch Team Indigenous Dreaming that their helmet cover, instead of a star, is a yarning circle in keeping with their Team Indigenous background. So with that particular jam, we have the OTTAMystics on 2 and Team Indigenous Dreaming on 4. Now we will have alrighty, I'm just looking to see who's got the... Okay, we have Dreadpool for the OTTAMystics, and Experiment jamming for Team TID, with Experiment coming out for lead. closely followed by Dreadpool. Now, I personally have seen Experiment play multiple games this weekend. I'm very impressed with multiple teams. Now, we have a lot of people. The pack is down around turn 3, and Dreadpool has done a nice scoring trip there. Okay, so we have 2 packs holding up their jammers extremely well. When you think that our blocker's job is to stop a jammer, and with that we have another jam done. And both teams on that jam scored 8 points, with the OTTAMystics on 10, Team TID on 12. We have Hammer for the OTTAMystics and Hardonna for TID. And all right. Okay, and we now are in a power jam situation because Hammer was sent, oh no, it was their pivot, sent to the penalty box. And that means that if they don't have a jammer on track, they can't score. So at the moment, the pack is coming up to turn 1 with it's alrighty. Now this time, okay. So we have a very tight pack of aqua and orange down between turn 1 and 2. And Hammer has completed a nice scoring pass there. Coming up today, we, as I said previously, we have some grand finals. I can already tell you that the grand final for Division 1 and the third place final has been decided and will be played on track 1 later today. That will be, and Hammer's just had another nice scoring pass. Playing in the Division 1 third place playoff will be Sydney Roller Derby playing against Varsity Roller Derby. And another 4 points there. And in the Division 1 grand final will be Victorian Men's Roller Derby versus Kingston City Rollers, both Victorian teams. So come on down, show Victoria your love. All right, now that jam has come to an end, and even with some time in the penalty box, they have picked up 17 points for a points of 27 versus 12. Now, I have to do some shout outs, and the first shout out I will do is to the Victorian State Government for their assistance in helping us put on this wonderful event here this weekend. And we have Dopamine for the OTTAMystics and Gypsy Wild. I love derby names, they are so fun. I would also like to thank Darebin Community Sports Centre for allowing us to use their venue this long weekend. In Victoria here, our long weekends are traditionally basketball 3-day tournaments, and Darebin hosts a lot of basketball. So for us to have the entire venue for 3 days, we are really grateful for. Now, we have Team Indigeneous Jamming with lead, and their jammer is a Gypsy Wild from one of our merch stores, Skating on Sacred Land. So once Gypsy Wild is off track, go and have a look at some of their gear. That would be amazing. I'd also like to thank Skate Australia for their participation in developing not just roller derby, but all forms of roller sports in Australia. They are also an insurance provider to keep us safe as well. And there was another pass there for Gypsy. Now, Skate Australia they put a lot of work in developing skaters, not just at a junior, senior level, but across the, from the time that you can roll to the time when you shouldn't be rolling. But we still do. Oh, there's a bit of a little battle going on in front of me right here, and it's quite interesting to watch. Oh, that was a massive duel between Redacted and Hardonna there, a Gypsy there. Now, that was an incredible jam because Team Indigenous Streaming scored 8 points and kept the OTTAMystics with no score. Oh, actually 12. So we are back to a 3-point difference between these two games. All right, so we have Experiment for Team Indigenous Streaming along with a Dopamine for for the OTTAMystics, who has just gone to the penalty bin, which means we are in a power jam situation. For those of you at home saying, what's a power jam? A power jam is when there is only one offensive player on the track who is able to score points. Now, okay. Now, as I was saying, we have some of the fittest athletes here, but we also have some of the best roller derby players in the country here this weekend. We have players and officials and bench crew for people for our skaters going in Team Australia to the the World Championships in Innsbruck later this month. We also have players and officials going to South Korea later in the year. And something that I'm particularly proud of is that as a nation, Australia will be hosting the Junior World Roller Derby Championships here in Brisbane in July, giving them a great opportunity to skate against the world's best in their home country. Rightio. So what have we got happening here? Ooh. We've even had a lead change. And as I said, this game is so close. TID on 40, Otta on 39. We are watching some incredible defense, and like all sports, I love it when our teams come together. We just saw Dreadpool and Hardonna having a bit of a hug it out before they slug it out. And so, yeah. Now, when you realise that the jammer has a role which is to get past 4 other skaters, and the blocker's job is to stop them. And so when you can stop people with 4 wheels under your feet from moving anywhere and gaining ground, that's a big, strong thing. Alrighty, and with that, the jam was called off, and OTTAMystics picking up 4, and Team Indigenous picking up 3. And at the moment, just over halfway through this first half, we have a tied up game. So I'm going to ask people, if you're in the building listening because you're watching or getting ready for another game, if you can, come and give some cheering, because this is incredible. So we have Slim Skatey coming out to jam for the first time this match, going up against the Hammer. And Hammer has just been a bit of a naughty Hammer and is serving Hammer time in the penalty box. Which means, again, Team Indigenous Streaming have a power jam. The defense from the OTTAMystics is huge, and this really is an incredible matchup to watch. And if I'm not talking, it's because I'm just watching with what's happening. All right, so Hammer's been recycled to the back of the pack. As has Slim Skatey. Now, speaking of people that help us with our tournaments, there is a group of people that we cannot have a tournament without. And no, that is not the skaters. And it is not the officials, though we can't play without them either. But the wonderful team at Deadly Sports Plus First Aid. They are incredible supporters of the roller derby community and are at pretty much every roller derby event that we run. And they are the team that we hope have either a fun weekend watching derby or a boring weekend, because that means that they haven't been needed. But we love them, and they also sell both first aid kits and supplies for kits, along with run first aid training, both refresher and initial courses. So, you know, if your company is needing to do a refresher, look them up, give them a call and tell them that you found them through Derby. Okay, so we have got a team time out for TID. So I got lots to say. And yeah, I've done this. This is my 6th game this weekend, and it's tiring just doing this. So I can't imagine how some of our players are feeling. Over on track 1, we have some fantastic vendors. Gypsy Wild from Team Indigenous Streaming has an amazing stall there, skating on sacred land. We have the amazing Peter from Spank Alley with her machines has been doing running repairs all weekend, as well as taking orders for armbands, ref tops, scrim tops, and a whole lot of others, and her amazing sweat soakers, which when you play even one game, even training, we sweat. We also have Social Grind Media covering us here today, and we are set and ready to go again with Experiment and Dopamine. And I love that derby name, because this game gives me such a dopamine hit every time I watch it. And Dopamine has successfully challenged for lead. Meanwhile, Experiment has come through on the inside, and in a strategic move, that jam was called off with 0 points scored by either player. We have a scoreline currently of OTTAMystics on 54 and TID on 43. We have Lou's Skate Garage over on track 1 selling wheels and other skate related things, but also can help fix skates. And this time we have Hardonna up against, and I want to say, Jack Rabbit. And Jack Rabbit has been recycled to the back of the pack. The defensive work of these two blocking packs is incredible. And with that, Jackrabbit has gotten out to take lead. So, but the rest of the pack is down around turn 1, and it is just literally a bunch of skaters to the point where you can't actually see numbers. Okay, and so Jackrabbit has gone to the penalty bin for a cut track penalty, which will mean TID will have a power jam scenario running once they get through for their scoring run. And we have a jammer bounce. And what is a jammer bounce? Well, we don't make them jump up and down. What that means is the first jammer in the box serves a set amount of time. Then when the second jammer gets there and sits, the other jammer is released, and the second jammer serves the same amount of time. So they both get penalised equally. And both jammers are back out on track, and this is going to be a full 2-minute jam because the lead jammer spent some time saying hi to my friends in the penalty box. Alrighty. Okay, so the OTTAMystics kept team. We are having a team timeout for the OTTAMystics, who are currently on 60 points, versus Team Indigeneous Streaming on 43. We are just under 13 minutes left in this first half of Game 1 today. Some of our other vendors have been nailed by art, which have some amazing glue-on nails. If you are into glue-on nails, go and see them. They're amazing. We also have... I have gone blank, but in the interval, I'll go and see who's here today. But I know some of you will be wondering, how do I get involved in this amazing thing? This amazing community and sport called roller derby. Well, we are so lucky that if you go onto your socials or to Google and search for roller derby teams near me, they will find you clubs close by. A lot of these clubs will be having their mid-year intakes or learn, try, join sessions, and you can give them a yell, say you watched Otta and you want in. Okay, so we have Hammer and Slim Skatey taking the jammer rolls this round. All right, now I'm just watching who got through first, and in this instance it was Hammer. However, Slim Skatey is through as well. Ooh. And we are seeing some big hits here at the moment. And Hammer is again doing some hammer time in the penalty box, which means that TID have the power jam advantage. This has been an incredible tournament to watch. I've been here since Saturday, and this is my 6th game calling. And the athleticism that I have seen here all weekend is incredible. Because not only do our skaters, some of which are skating for multiple teams this weekend, play, they also officiate, some on skates and some both on and off skates. All right, and hammer time is serving hammer time again. So so this, the fitness of these people, can't be underpinned. It is amazing. And we get through 3-day tournaments on adrenaline, and I'm sure the pain will kick in tomorrow, because literally the skaters put their bodies on the line every time. All right, so Slim Skating has picked up 8 points in that jam. So there's only, as I said, this game is incredibly even. There was 12 points in that jam. So we are down to a 5-point differential. And while we're talking about how do I get involved in roller derby, we have an official timeout happening. And while we're doing that, I would like to pay mention to one of our on-skates refs today, Cheeky, because Cheeky is a part of an amazing group of people that are beginning a new league, the Golden Peaches. They will be based out of Shepparton, and they're not even been in the running for 6 months, and they're recruiting, and we welcome them to the Derbyverse. We also have a new team that will be playing on the other track called the Spring Rollers, which is a brand new team for Dragon City. Jamming this time round, we have a Dreadpool up against Experiment, and Dreadpool flew through to gain lead status on this particular jam. Yes, the Steamrollers is the open and mixed gender team for Dragon City Rollers, and you may wonder why Steamrollers, and no, we're not talking about lollies. All right, I'll give you a score update. And so we have OTTAMystics on 67, Indigenous Streaming on 59. Now, as to why do we have the Steamrollers? Well, the Steamrollers are called the Steamrollers because their main team, their Woofter team, is the Chico Rollers, their junior team, the Spring Rollers, and so it only made sense to stay on a roll and name the next team the Steamrollers. Now, jamming in this lineup, we have, I'm just trying to see, it is Dopamine. All right, and Hardonna is jamming for TID, with Dopamine having lead. Now, it is cold here in Melbourne, and although today is actually tropical compared to the last couple of days, however, during our interval, I encourage everyone to go for a walk, move around, get a warm drink, get some warm food, and do all that, because, yeah, sitting in one place for a long period of time can get very cold. And with that, the jam has been called off, and the OTTAMystics have picked up another 4 points, taking them to 71 with TID on 59. Now, I will admit to people, I'm old. Let's face it, I'm old. However, I do respect those with technical knowledge and know-how. And I'd like to give a special shout out to two special people here today that are helping us run our social, our live stream. Without Jen and Bullseye, we would not be able to be bringing you this live stream. And on behalf of all of you watching at home and those of you listening in the building, I express a heartfelt thank you. Now, who do we have? We have Hardonna in lead and just calling off that jam. Oh, hang on. No, because there was a penalty just prior. Now, this means that Hardonna has gone to the penalty bin, and this particular jam will go for the full 2 minutes, as they have lost control of this particular jam. Alrighty. Okay, so we are under official review, I believe. Oh, jammer bounce. I wonder why everyone had stopped. I think Toots must have put a bit of a trampoline on that on those jammer seats. Alrighty. So our second jammer has returned to track. And we are just under 6 minutes of play left in this first half. And the jam has been called off, with OTTAMystics picking up a handy 4 points, along with Team Indigeneous Dreaming. Okay, so it's a Dreadpool and Slim Skatey jamming this particular jam. Oh, and now the Matrix-like moves are coming. Because to be on track, you must have all 8 wheels. Dreadpool has successfully obtained lead and is now in their scoring run. Meanwhile, Slim Skatey is about to complete their initial run. Okay, now we have, this is a very evenly matched game, but you can also see that players are starting to fatigue, because for some of these players it's the 5th or 6th game this weekend. However, they're still playing with every ounce of fumes left in their tank. Okay, so now this is okay. Alrighty, so that was the most crazy jammer bounce ever, because both jammers reported at exactly the same time. And we can't play without jammers, so I really am going to tell Toots to take the trampolines away and replace them with seats. Alrighty, it was almost Matrix-like watching Dreads trying to stay on track there. And now Slim Skatey is through. And rightio, and another very equal jam. We have a 20-point differential of the OTTAMystics on 87 and Team Indigeneous Dreaming on 67. And we have our first official review for the day. What is an official review? Well, although we have a live stream, we don't have a video ref. So what happens is, if a team is unhappy with a penalty awarded or not awarded, they will go in and their bench crew will go and speak to the officials and state their case. Now, each team gets one official review per half, and if they are successful, they get to keep it, and if not, they lose it. So it's something that you really debate. Do I or don't I need it? So what will happen is the captains and their bench managers will be in explaining their points of view, and then the officials will go into a huddle, because like any game or anything really, what I see from my angle is different to what people on the other side of the track see. I noticed that especially here on this track, I can commentate. All right, so what the thing is the blue team are wishing to have a penalty, a blocking penalty, back block against 182, I believe, removed, because there was no other legal way of preventing contact. So it, in their opinion, there was nothing else literally that they could do within the rules to avoid contact. Although we are a full contact sport, we do have areas within the body that we are not allowed to hit or push. However, sometimes if there is just no other option, and those of you listening who follow the AFL will know how that has been playing out in the AFL with high and head knocks. Alrighty, so we have some dancing. Oh, we need some dancing music between Scottish and Experiment. All right, now what has actually happened is the blue team sadly have lost that official review due to insufficient people seeing the incident in question. We have multiple referees, but our eyes can't be everywhere every moment. Alright, now that was not a fire drill and we are perfectly safe. Darwin Community Sports Centre is located in Reservoir High School, and today is Monday, and they didn't turn the bells off when they went home on Friday. So you'll hear that noise quite regularly during the day. Alright, now we have Experiment and Hammer jamming for their respective teams, with Hammer obtaining lead. We are just under 2.5 minutes left of this first half. And Experiment has gotten through, though Hammer made a strategic call and called that jam. We have a 20-point differential. All right. All right. A bit of officiating happening. And we are getting ready to go with another jam. This time it will be Dopamine and Hardonna. All right, so that official timeout has finished. Okay, and with that, this jam has commenced. as with Dopamine and Donna working hard to find their way through the pack. With Dopamine going off track and being recycled to the back of the pack. And I'm just... Right, and Dopamine has been effective in obtaining a lead, and Donna has gone to pay our friendly penalty box a visit. There's a track appears to be a bit slipperier today. All right, so we have, oh no we don't, because just as Dopamine was going into the penalty box, the amazing Donna was being released. Now, given both jammers have paid some time in the penalty box, this jam is going to go for the full 2 minutes. And the pack is up around turn 3 with Donna finally doing their initial pass, where the Dopamine has entered the track again. Rightio. Okie dokie. And with that, we have intermission. Well, that's what the scoreboard's telling me. Alrighty. Okay. Alright, so it appears that we have our halftime whistle blown, and we will be back in approximately 14 minutes.
whispers in my head. What you gonna do? 선택의 기로에 난 지켜내려 해. 쉽잖아도 진실한 나만의 beliefs. You know what they say, don't brag about what you have. Be careful and be humble, otherwise you should be ready to stumble. You know what they say, 자신감이 없니? 왜 당당하게 살지를 못해? Keep walking your way, don't look back. 너만의 길이야. Even when you fall, don't look back. 사실은 말이야. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. 'Cause it's only yours. Only yours. Yeah. 쏟아지는 말 이미 어지러운 이 세상 속에서 어둠 속의 light 붙잡아 진실한 나만의 beliefs. 차가운 바람 그득하니 앉아 내 마음속에 새겨둔 작은 위로를 더 꺼내야 하나. 우울함의 파도를 가라앉혀. But when you feel like giving up, remember, keep walking your way, don't look back. 너만의 길이야. Even when you
there is an aria when the school bell was ringing when we're starting a jam. Okay, so jamming this time around, we have we have Dreadpool for the team OTTAMystics up against Experiment, and after a bit of a break and a breather, Dreadpool has successfully obtained lead. Now, as I was mentioning earlier, we had some we have amazing supporters. And with that, the jam was called off. Now, some of the other vendors that I didn't mention earlier, we have Atlas of Identity, we also have Derby Bird, we have the amazing Hawkeye. And for those of you from Victoria, you will know that Hawkeye has been a prominent photographer over the Derby scene for many years, and he is working on an amazing project at the moment called The Faces of Derby. So go in and say hi, and if you haven't had your pretty face put on the lens for perpetuality, go and be in it. All right. Okay. All right. I think we're just going to go to a bit of music for a bit and turn the screens off. Is that... Rightio. So, what I'm going to do is I am... Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sit here and give you a whole lot of random information. We just have a slight break at the moment happening. Now, as I said earlier, tournaments like this don't just magically happen. They have an amazing committee, they have teams, they have supporters, but most of all we have some very important sponsors, being the Victorian State Government, who help us achieve these that may have travelled interstate today that will be travelling to Innsbruck in Austria in only a couple of weeks. So potentially the frequent flyers will be getting a bit of a boost, but you know, we do that to play a sport that we love. And again, just on the school bell, our jam is restarting. We have dopamine up against experiment. I don't think I am ever going to complain about the quiet music my school's bell has at work after this all weekend. And experiment is lead and has a tidy 4 points, while experiment okay, so that jam was productive with 7 points for Team Indigenous Streaming and the OTTAMystics on Team 102. Rightio, so we have Hammer and Hardonna going up against each other again with the jammers. And we have two pretty tough packs there, trying to hold their respective jammers back. And in this case, Hammer was able to get through first. Now, there's a pack of players down around turn 1. And Hammer has picked up some handy points for the Team OTTAMystics. And we have had a star pass, which means that we now have a new jammer for Team TID. Alright, so Dreadpool and Experiment are both battling it out, with Dreadpool working their way through the pack to obtain lead. Okay, so 2 players heading to the penalty box, one of which being Experiment. Oh, and we had a jammer bounce again. I think I told my I told the penalty box manager to take away the trampoline. I do promise. Alright, so because both jammers have spent time in the bin, this jam is a full 2-minute jam. Alrighty. So there's a lot of defensive work going on in the on the back side of the track, with Redacted taking the star for Team OTTAMystics. Alright. The thing with this game is how incredibly equal the play is. it is really hard to describe how incredible this game is to watch in-house. I mean, imagine what... And we have a timeout, and it is official timeout for the officials to do officially things. And who's dancing this pool? Dreadpool and... Skatomeshkist is... They are having a lovely dance there. You know, when you look at the quality of play on this game, I also have to mention that both of these teams do not play together on a regular basis. So they... Yep, you are. Okay. Right. Oh, we are in an official timeout. Okay. And with that, the rolling whistle has won, and Jackrabbit and Experiment. Ooh. All right, and we have another official timeout. Alright, just doing a bit of technical fixer-uppering. But no, both Team OTTAMystics and Team Indigeneous Dreaming are made up of players from many teams across our wonderful nation. So to be playing so cohesively and just knowing what each other's doing when you don't play together is incredible. We're about to recommence, and Hardonna and Jackrabbit will be skating with jammer positions. Both packs being extremely defensive, making the respective jammers work so hard to try and get through. And down around turn one, it is like, okay, Jackrabbit sprang through. You know, okay, and Hardonna has gone to the penalty bench. Now, alrighty, so Jackrabbit picked up a handy 8 points there, and we have OTTAMystics on 121, Team Indigeneous Dreaming on 83. Now, from where I'm sitting, I can hear it's raining and cold outside, so really, be watching us. You know, there's nothing more interesting, or even better, jump in the car, come down, and run in and watch us. We have Dopamine and Hardonna, both with Dopamine obtaining a lead, and Hardonna has returned to track from serving their initial penalty. Rightio, so Hardonna has lead closed, but has also scored some points, I think. That was what Linky was saying. Oh, All right, now the points. I think after 3 days we're all getting a little bit fatigued. I mean, I know the skaters are, and any position on skates after 3 days you are getting very fatigued. But also the officials, they have a lot of paperwork that they need to do. All right, and Hardonna has picked up another 4 points with dopamine on 4. And Hardonna's been recycled to the back of the pack, but so has dopamine. And basically what that means is if you go off the track, you get to come back on, but you have to be behind the back. You cannot use it to an advantage. So alrighty, so Team Indigenous Streaming picked up a handy 8 points at Jam. Oh, actually 10, which has taken their score to 93, and OTTAMystics on 7 for 128. Oh, it's not? Okay. All right, so we've had some... we have Hammer and Experiment jamming, and Hammer flew out for lead. All right. Okay, and Hammer has been sent back to the penalty box to do some more hammer time. So we have Experiment coming through with their team creating an amazing path. Alrighty. So picking up a nice 4 points there for Team Indigenous Streaming, and Hammer is back on track. And down around turn 4, we have a mass of players, whereas, and this jam is going for the full 2 minutes. Both teams have had some scores on their scoring passes, which is amazing. And I must say, I've just had a bit of a look at our chat, comments on our stream, and we've got beautiful Jam Hardonna. Yeah, Jips, you're a powerhouse. Go Stitchy. Bad Dread, go Dread. So we're getting a lot of love and support from family, friends, colleagues, etc. watching us throughout the Derbyverse, as I like to call it, because for the last 3 days when I'm in this building, the world doesn't exist. We have Dreadpool and Slim Skatey taking the Jammer, and Slim Skatey just found that slimmer of a place and was able to get through for lead status, and called that jam before any points will be able to be scored. Our scoreline is currently 140 points to the OTTAMystics, with 107 for Team Indigenous Streaming. We've played just under half of our game here. We have another just over 16 minutes left. I'm sure some of these skaters are thinking, why isn't it 6 minutes? But we'll get there. And we have Jackrabbit up against the amazing Hardonna. And both defensive packs working really hard at holding their jammers up. I mean, these jammers are pushing on the packs with their entire weight to a pack of players that are trying with their entire weight not to move. Jack Rabbit has successfully obtained a lead. And Hardonna has been sent to the penalty box. Okay, so they're the pack is down around between 2 and 1, turns 2 and 1, and Jack Rabbit has actually called that after picking up a neat 4 points. Oh, actually 7 points. And Dopamine will be commencing this jam in a power jam scenario. And my technical guru next to me has done what I should have done at halftime and gone and got the hoodie on. Mine is in the car. It won't be much longer after this game concludes. So we have Dopamine and Hardonna. All right. And Dopamine has successfully obtained the lead, and we have a lot of thumping skates here at the moment, and boy, you can feel it. It's like one of the soccer games, or one sporting somewhere, they said that the fans caused the earth to shake. I think our skates will make the school shake anyway. All right, so Jack Rabbit Dopamine has been sent to the penalty bin. Alrighty. So we've got a bit of a power jam situation happening now for Hardonna because Dopamine is in the box, and this means that our jam will go the full 2 minutes. So, alright. And so, Dopamine is back on track, and their Team Indigenous Dreaming blockers are doing an incredible job of holding Jack Rabbit back. Okay. All right. Okay, so with that particular jam, we have 3 for the OTTAMystics, 8 for Team Indigenous Dreaming, with a scoreline of 150 for the OTTAMystics and 118 for Team Indigenous Dreaming. So we have Dreadpool and Experiment. Okay, and Experiment jumped through for lead. Picking up a quick handy 4 points. We have just over 11 minutes left of this first half. So it's all happening around turn 2 at the moment, with blockers blocking, and Donna picking up another 4 points. Sorry, Experiment picking up another 4 points for Team Indigenous Streaming. The gap on this, the score differential, does not reflect how close this game actually is to be watching. And after picking up some points, Experiment has called that jam off and picked up a handy 8 points for their team, taking them up to, 11 points, taking them to 129. So that gap rapidly closing. All right. Okay, so we have a Sklim Skatey and Hammer taking on the Jammer Rolls this particular jam, with Hammer obtaining lead and picking up a handy 4 points while after doing so. We have alright. We have Sklim Skatey through the pack on their now official run. So they can now commence scoring. And both walls there are pretty tight. And that particular jam saw the OTTAMystics pick up a handy 10 points to take their score out to 160. We have a 31 point different game at the moment, but when you consider some jams I've seen jams that have had 20 and 22 points gained in a single jam, it is still anyone's game. So we have a Jackrabbit and Hadonna jamming for their respective teams again. And the packs are working extremely hard in holding up the players. It really is a case of finding just that micro space to be able to kind of get your head, your hip and your leg through without going off track. Okay, and Hadonna has been granted lead. Alrighty. Which means that Hadonna gets to pick up lots of more points. So there is excitement building because, as I said, the amount that this team, the amount that this game changes, when you think going into this round we had a 31 point difference. So far this jam, Hadonna has collected a handy 8 points. So it just shows how close and slipped through for another one. I am so enjoying watching this game, and I hope you are too, from wherever you're watching. It is incredible. It is so full of action. And to think that these players have been doing this is their third day of playing and reffing on skates. So their bodies have been through the works. And at the end of that particular jam, Hadonna picked up 15 points to 8 for the OTTAMystics. So now OTTAMystics are on 168, Team Indigenous Dreaming 144, which is a 24 point difference. We have an official timeout happening. So this game has been incredibly close. And just in that game, like, we've gone from a 31-point differential to 24 points. So with 6 minutes still on the clock to play, it is still anyone's game. All right, so we have Dopamine taking the Jammer. Along with Experiment. And, ooh. And Jackrabbit successfully obtained lead in this particular jam with all right. Okay, so we have the jammers both trying to get through, and we've not yet reached turn 1. Okay, so Jackrabbit has sprung out to collect the first of points for this particular scrim. Now we have the pack coming up. Okay, and with that we've had the jam called. Winter's weekend. I'd also like to thank the organising committee from the OTTA committee and the Open Roller Derby Association committee for arranging this tournament. I'd like to thank the Victorian State Government for their help in enabling us to run this tournament, and Skate Australia for their amazing support in the facilitation of the development not just of roller derby but of all roller sports in Australia. A quick score update, we have a 172 for the OTTAMystics and 1444 for Team Indigenous Streaming. We have Redacted and Slim Skatey will be taking the jam for this next jam. And I'll wave back because Redacted waved to me. I have seen Redacted play that many games this weekend. I don't know how they're still standing, but that just shows how fit these athletes are. You know, I think we would be fitter than most AFL players, truly, because these guys have been playing back-to-back on multiple teams, and this has been going on for 3 days. All right, so 5 seconds has been called. All right, so now it's just a blend of people as our respective jammers try and get their way through. And Slim Skatey was able to find that gap and get through for a lead. We are a little under 5 minutes left of this first game. And there will be plenty more action happening. All right. Okay, so Slim Skatey has picked up points and now called that jam. So that was a further 8 points for Team Indigenous Streaming, and we are still a 24-point game. Oh, that's better. I just remembered my Hoodie had a hood. Okay, so it is Dreadpool and Gammon jamming this particular jam. And we have a situation of a power jam because Dreadpool has gone and said hello to my friendly penalty bench friends, with Gammon Jammin now on their scoring run with lead. All right. So they've picked up 4 points. It is incredible. I am really just, it's not just the players are probably going to hate me for saying it. I really don't want this game to end because it is one of the best games I have sat and watched and commentated on. And that's not to take anything away from any of the derby this weekend. But having seen both these teams play multiple times and what the players are still able to do is amazing. So we are just over 2 minutes remaining in this second half of our first game. And it has been an amazing game. And we've had some amazing officiating both on and off skates, and in that particular jam team Indigenous Streaming picked up a handy 12 points. So we've gone from a 31 point difference about 5 minutes ago to a 16 point difference. And this is why I'm liking this game, because it is still anyone's game. So we have a Jackrabbit. I really had hard Donna giving Jackrabbit bunny ears. This is just such an amazing game. I really love the game. I love how that we put our bodies on the line when we're on track each and every time. And then in those little gaps you get the dancing, the bunny ears, and in that case Jackrabbit got lead. Ooh, and they're just... Alright, so they're forcing their way through packs, and it's just... Alrighty, so Jackrabbit was able to pick up 4 points. And then Jackrabbit's birthday was just doing a general singing happy birthday as they go through for some more points. So we're back out to a 24-point gap. And it is now back to a 20-point game. As I said, a lot can happen in 2 minutes of a derby. So this is alrighty. We now have an unofficial score of OTTAMystics 192 to Team Indigenous Streaming 168. That would be one of the closest and toughest games I've seen for it all weekend. So it's a 24-point difference. And really one jam either way. So the officials are doing all the crossing the I's, dotting the T's. And we now have a final score. My name is Sparks. It's been a pleasure taking you through this game. And I had a lovely thank you there from the lovely Hadonna. Coming up next on this track, it appears to be the Steamrollers. And I'm not, and it looks like the Steamrollers and Team Triple Threat, if I am reading it correctly. And it is lovely to see Team TID with their flag proudly doing their victory lap with them. They come from many traditional lands, skating united under the one flag of of their Indigenous culture. So congratulations to Team Indigenous Dreaming for an amazing tournament, and congratulations for OTTAMystics on an incredible victory in this game. Someone else will come and take this lovely mic for me soon, and you'll be taking you through the next game. Cheerio.